You wake up in the morning and open your eyes. There are no houses, no cars, and no phone alarm to greet you. Instead, heavy rain pounds relentlessly against the banana leaf roof of your small shelter, while thousands of insects fill the forest with an endless chorus, blending with the distant calls of birds echoing through the trees. The air is thick with the smell of wet earth, decaying leaves, and smoke drifting from the campfire that is slowly dying out. You stand up. In front of you are nothing but towering trees and tangled vines. You try to see farther, but just 5 to 10 meters ahead, everything disappears behind a wall of dense vegetation. You have no idea what's standing behind that curtain of green. It could be nothing more than a monkey. Or it could be a leopard silently watching your tribe. In this forest, your eyes are not your most important sense. You stop and listen. A stream flows somewhere to your left. A flock of birds suddenly bursts into the air. Farther away, a troop of monkeys keeps calling out warning cries. To a modern human, those are simply the sounds of nature. But to you, every sound carries a message. Bird calls may mean a snake has just appeared. Monkey alarms can signal that a predator is approaching. And the sound of running water can lead your entire tribe to the most precious resource of the day. Anthropologists have found that many modern hunter-gatherer communities can still navigate by following streams, ancient trees, animal trails, and the sounds of the forest. Our ancestors likely relied on these very same skills to survive. If you lose your way, you won't just lose your sense of direction. You may lose your only chance of finding your way back to the tribe's campfire. But even if you do make it back, that still doesn't guarantee your survival. Just a few hours from now, a sudden rainstorm is about to teach you something important. The most dangerous enemy in this forest doesn't always have claws or fangs. A cold breeze suddenly sweeps through the forest. You look up. Just minutes later, the sky opens. Rain crashes down like a waterfall. In the modern world, rain simply leaves your clothes wet. But in your world, it can take your life. A soaked body loses heat surprisingly fast, leaving you exhausted even in the middle of the tropics. That's why the very first priority after the rain is keeping the fire alive. Everyone quickly dries their animal hides, replaces the wet firewood with the dry wood they carefully stored away, and checks the glowing embers that are still smoldering beneath the ashes. To the tribe, fire is far more than warmth. It cooks food, it dries clothing, it drives away insects, and it keeps many predators from coming too close to the camp. Archaeologists believe that starting a brand new fire after a heavy rainstorm was extremely difficult. That's why ancient people did everything they could to protect an existing fire and often carried glowing embers with them whenever they moved to a new camp. But even if the fire survives, you still have another challenge waiting for you: thirst. And in this forest, not every source of water is safe to drink. The rain has stopped. The fire is still burning, but the tribe's supply of drinking water is almost gone. You pick up a dried gourd and head into the forest. Water is everywhere, but not every source is safe to drink. A stagnant pool or a slow-moving stream could easily make you sick. Ancient people knew nothing about bacteria, but they understood that certain water sources had to be avoided at all costs. Whenever possible, the tribe collected rainwater, searched for flowing streams, or gathered water from certain forest vines. The next thing the tribe needs is food. Many people imagine that ancient humans survived mainly by hunting. In reality, among many hunter-gatherer societies, roots, fruits, nuts, honey, and other wild foods formed the foundation of the daily diet. You use a digging stick to unearth yams buried deep beneath the soil. Others search for beehives, gather seasonal fruits, or turn over rotting logs in search of fat-rich grubs. But the forest doesn't just hide food. It also hides plants that can take your life. No one picks an unfamiliar fruit simply because it looks tempting. From an early age, children are taught which plants are safe to eat and which must never be touched. That knowledge is passed down through generations. because a single mistake can cost a life. Once the tribe has regained some of its strength, it's time for the most dangerous task of the day, the hunt. As the sun climbs higher, the hunting party leaves the shelter. You grip your spear tightly. Everyone silently watches the forest. Humans have no claws, no fangs, and they can't outrun most wild animals. What keeps them alive is intelligence and teamwork. The hunt begins with the smallest clues: a fresh footprint, a few blades of grass that were just bent, or a pile of dung that's still warm. Each one reveals which direction the herd has traveled. Once prey is found, the group follows patiently, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Your weapon is simple: a spear tipped with sharpened stone, or a point carved from bone. Because humans can sweat across almost their entire bodies, they are able to keep moving for long periods while staying cool. Many large animals, by contrast, gradually overheat because they can only cool themselves by panting. Among some later hunter-gatherer societies in Africa, hunters even coated their arrows with plant toxins, increasing their chances of bringing down prey. As the sun begins to set, the hunters return, some days with food, some days with nothing at all. But no matter the outcome, the food is shared with the entire tribe. In this forest, cooperation is humanity's greatest weapon for survival. After the hunt, if there's a cave or a rocky overhang nearby, the tribe uses it as shelter. If there isn't, they cut flexible branches, drive them into the ground, and bend them into a dome-shaped frame. Large leaves are layered over the top, allowing rainwater to run off quickly and keeping the inside as dry as possible. The campsite itself is chosen with great care. They avoid stagnant pools, flooded ground, rocky crevices, and dense undergrowth where mosquitoes, snakes, scorpions, and other venomous creatures thrive. Before nightfall, everyone clears away fallen leaves and thick brush around the shelter, removing places where snakes, scorpions, and venomous centipedes might hide. The fire is kept burning throughout the night, not only for warmth, but also to drive away some insects and discourage many predators from coming too close. Even so, some enemies are almost impossible to avoid. Mosquitoes continue buzzing around the fire. Leeches cling to your legs as you cross damp ground. Bites, stings, and parasites are simply part of everyday life for ancient people living in the rainforest. As darkness falls, the entire forest transforms into a completely different world. The last traces of daylight are swallowed by the dense canopy. Only a small campfire flickers in the middle of an endless sea of darkness. During the day, you can see danger coming, but at night, you can only hear it. A deep growl echoes from somewhere in the distance. A branch suddenly snaps. Dry leaves rustle, as though something is quietly moving closer. You don't know whether it's a wild boar searching for food, a pack of hyenas, or a leopard patiently watching from the darkness. But predators are not the only thing to fear. Beneath the fallen leaves, a venomous snake may be lying perfectly still. Inside the firewood, a scorpion or a poisonous centipede could be waiting. And mosquitoes never stop circling the fire, carrying diseases that people of that time could never hope to understand. That's why no one sleeps too far from the fire. Spears are always kept within reach, and someone is always awake, making sure the fire never goes out. In the flickering glow of the flames, the elders begin telling stories about past hunts, hidden forest trails, and the mistakes that claimed the lives of those who came before. Those are more than stories. They are how the tribe passes down the knowledge that gives the next generation a chance to survive. In this forest, survival depends on more than strength. It depends on lessons passed down through countless generations. And perhaps it was during those long nights around the fire that humanity first laid the foundation for its journey to conquer the world.